Then in 2021, they again approached, one of the recruiter approached me again on LinkedIn, but due
mm,
to some personal circumstances, I could not go through with it. And then
mm.
again this year in April, I got an email saying that if I
Okay.
want to start my Google interview process again. So,
Mm,
in short, if I can talk about is once you are in the system, like if you have had even a single call from Google and once you are in their system, it's okay. If you fail and fail, they will keep approaching you. That's the best part about it. Like it just takes that one trial to be inside their system.
So, hey everyone, welcome back to the new episode. And in this podcast, we are talking with the software engineer working at the Google. So, in this podcast, we will be talking about the Google hiring process and for what role Google actually hire as a fresher. So, can you tell a little bit about yourself?
Hey Gagan, thanks for having me here. So,
Mm,
I am Shreya. I graduated from Delhi Technological University in
mm,
2019. I was doing bachelor's in computer science there. After my graduation, directly I joined Citibank, which is located in Pune. I worked there for 5.5 years. My work was more of a full stack developer there. We used to be working on different automations for on how to handle
mm,
different kinds of funds at the bank. And after finishing my 5.5 years, my second company is Google. And
mm.
it's been almost a month since I've been working here.
Okay. As you said about the Citibank, then how you prepared for that?
So Citibank was more or less a directly college placement. Usually
Mm,
Citibank does not hire freshers other than college placement, but one can definitely try for it. There are exceptions that you can make. In Citibank's interview that time, I remember they were also again straightforward data structure algorithm question.
mm,
And I remember I had written pseudocodes. It wasn't
mm,
very difficult rounds. They are
mm,
fairly simple. If you are well versed with data structures, you can manage
mm,
it. But my knowledge on these interviews are 5.5 years old, so I'll
mm.
not rely on what's latest happening there now.
Oh, okay, okay. So, as आपने बोला कि आपने पहले सिटमैक पे काम किया, then you shifted your company to Google. So, what were the
Yeah.
hiring process of a Google?
So in 2018, actually, Google was
Mm,
approaching a lot of people from my college,
mm,
including me. So that time
mm,
I had given the interviews. It was a time
mm,
when hybrid wasn't there in the fashion too much. So we
mm,
actually flew to Bangalore to give interviews. We had
mm,
four technical rounds, I remember, on the same day. Like one
mm.
after another, you have to do those rounds.
Oh,
And
okay.
after that, I think they took a month or so to tell about rejection or acceptance. Few of my
Mm,
friends were rejected, few were accepted. I was the
mm,
only one who had not gotten a single response from them. And then I
mhm,
realized that my interviews were somewhere in the middle, not too good,
mm,
not too bad. So I had another fifth round, which sadly did not go well. I can even tell the preparation mistakes I must have done wrong back then. But due
mm,
to this, I was in their system already. Then in 2021, they again approached, one of the recruiter approached me again on LinkedIn, but due
mm,
to some personal circumstances, I could not go through with it. And then
mm,
again this year in April, I got an email saying that if I
mm,
want to start my Google interview process again. So,
mm,
in short, if I can talk about is once you are in the system, like if you have had even a single call from Google and once you are in their system, it's okay. If you fail and fail, they will keep approaching you. That's the best part about it. Like it just takes that one trial to be inside their system. And so when they approached me, I was not well versed with data structures and algorithms. I had been
mm,
working for 5.5 years. I did want to switch, but it was not actively in my head. So
mm,
I needed some preparation time. I asked them for they are very flexible. They will always ask you how much time you would need. If you want, you
mm,
can do it within a week. If you want, you can take as long as a month. And yeah, I was really out of practice. So let them know that I need a month. The only
mm,
problem with asking for a month is that if they're approaching you for a specific position, there's a good
mm,
chance that after a month it won't be there. But the good
mm,
part about being a software developer is
mm,
more or less there will be something opening up, and if it doesn't, you can always wait. I think
mm.
something 6 months to 1 year is the time period till your interviews hold true at Google. So still go ahead with give the interview. So I took my 1 month and I can say it's a very dear company because gave me a mock interview so that I can understand what kind of how interview will be at Google. That mock interview did not go well. They arranged another mock for me a week or two later. That went well, and then actual interview process start. So first they will take is a elimination round. It will be almost 40 to 45 minutes. You have to get a positive in it. There's no doubt about it. If that elimination round succeeds, then you will have three further technical rounds. Usually all three happen. They are not based on that if first is good then second one happen. It's not like that. But in those three technical rounds, you need to have at least two positives. For example, if the first one didn't go well, second one didn't go well, there's a good chance that there's no point of a third one. So once you are done with these three rounds, there will be the what how do they call it a googly round, which in other languages we can also call it a cultural and behavioral round. And
Yeah.
once you're done with everything, then it comes on to the team matching. Your profile goes to a lot of hiring managers. They check on it. If they like you, they will ask recruiter to hold a call. Then you will have a team matching round in which you are also allowed to cancel, I mean, not cancel, but like say no to the team if you do not like it. And even the hiring manager can say that I don't want it. I liked my team, so I didn't go through it, but I've heard so many cohorts who joined recently along with it that they had 3 to 4 team matching rounds because they wanted that perfect fit for themselves. And
Okay.
once this is done, if your hiring manager likes you, then it will go final to the hiring committee. In this round, like it's not a round, you cannot do anything. There is a panel of people who will check everything like in every interview, the one who takes interview will be writing a comprehensive feedback. So everything is mentioned, your feedback will be checked, your manager will tell, recruiter will talk, and finally hiring committee will take a decision. And in this actually, personally for me, it didn't stop at 4 technical rounds because among the 3 rounds I'm talking about in which you need at least two yes, it's the best scenario if you get three. Three yes means there's a good chance all the managers will be on to you. They will want to. Like, there's not a lot of chance that you are not going to get selected, but I only had two right. So my hiring manager who liked my profile suggested another round. So I think a month after my technical rounds in Google was done and hiring manager, I had another round and that was like a make and break. You have to get again a positive in it. That worked out, and then finally it went to hiring committee. So it's a very comprehensive interview process, I can say. But if you know how to crack interviews and if you're well versed with the data structures and algorithms, I don't see how you cannot do it. Like, it won't matter if you're from tier one, tier two, tier three, which languages you know, all these things do not matter as much as your cognitive ability, reasoning, product solving skills, problem solving skills, all these matter way, way more.
Oh, okay. But the one thing मेरे को अच्छी लगी कि the hiring procedure is very long in the Google और the top MNC. आपने दूसरे भी कोई इंटरव्यूज दिए हैं गूगल को छोड़ के?
I also gave, yeah, there are few I have given, and I have seen some of my friends also giving few rounds, and yes, I have seen
हम्म,
usually companies come and say that, how about we just do all these rounds in next 2 to 3 days? There won't be a lot of waiting time.
हाँ,
So the best
yeah.
thing about Google is it will give you your time to prepare, and
हम्म,
I'll highly suggest that even if the recruiter says that this position will not be available a month or so later, it's okay.
हम्म,
There's no point of giving an interview in a week and then failing on it. It's okay. You take your month, you take your month and a half, give the interviews, and whenever a position comes up, you are gonna get that one. So take your time. Maki, the best scenario is keep preparing and then apply for sure.
तो आपको क्या लगता है मीन्स यू अप्रोच द गूगल मीन्स वो ऑन कैंपस था जब आपने इंटरव्यूज दिए थे और बैंगलोर गए थे जैसे आपने बोला तो वहां पे क्या मीन्स क्या कमी पड़ गई थी आपको लगता
So when I was giving interview in 2018, like I
है?
have prepared this year as well in 2018 also. And the stark difference that I felt was in the amount of material that is available today. I mean, if you
Hmm.
open Instagram, even Instagram has material on how you can prepare
Yeah.
on data structures and algorithm. Back then, there was Geeks for Geeks, thanks for that, and interview bit. Even lead code wasn't that popular, I remember. So there
Hmm.
was not a particular roadmap on how to prepare. I just used to pick a question, try to solve it.
Hmm.
If it works, yes. If it doesn't work, then fine. Let's just find the solution mug up. So I remember I was so much on to just doing questions. But
Hmm.
after 5 years, now seeing so many materials, having experience, you realize that it's
Hmm.
not the question that you need to focus on. You have to focus on the data structures, the algorithms, the concepts. So this time,
Hmm.
just say that's a three date line ना do not remember कुछ education के पीछे भागो तो success तुम्हारे पीछे आएगी. It's like that. If you try to
Hmm.
solve, if you focus on one question, वो एक ही question solve होगा. And if you try to focus on the concept, all the questions that belong to that concept will happen. So that was my main motto. I'm going to try to understand the basics, not the question.
Oh, okay. Crazy, ma'am. It's crazy. And one question from my side is like, आपने आपको उन्होंने गूगल ने 1 month दिया था to prepare for the Google interviews. So what you did in
Yes.
that 1 month?
So initially in the first week, I remember I picked on Grind 75 because it's a very
Hmm.
good comprehensive 75 set of questions. And initially it
Hmm.
was working well. I was able to do questions, but as soon as the questions were getting harder, I mean,
Hmm.
after doing 100 to 200 lead code questions, I still felt मतलब वो बात नहीं आ रही. That's what I was feeling. If I get a new question, I'm still not able to do it within the stipulated time I need to do for an interview. And then
Hmm.
I have very great peers and friends. They came up with that. There are so many resources on the concepts. So I think I
Hmm.
found out neetcode.io has a roadmap in which you will see like
Hmm.
first you need to do array, then you need to do stacks, linked list. Like
Hmm.
I realized that there's a map on how I have to solve. So from there
Hmm.
I picked on what I need to do. I checked on the
Hmm.
concepts. Like if you search on array, you will find sliding window, two pointer, slow and fast. There are a lot of patterns, and then I would pick one pattern, search the
Hmm.
questions on lead code, and I'll do probably 5 to 10 questions till I do not have the grasp of that particular pattern. What I learned is, look, if you're able to solve the questions without checking for their solution, that means that's the point where you have done it. Like
Hmm.
initially, if I would do a question and I'm not able to do it, I'll check on the solution, I'll just code it out and feel it's done. This time I made sure that rather than looking for the solution, how about I don't know if you have checked on it, LeetCode has very good YouTube playlist for solutions.
Yeah.
So usually, and it's in Python, and I was doing in
Hmm.
Java, which was clear that I'm not going to copy code. So I went
Hmm.
there, I understood the logic, I wrote it myself, and once you're done with coding, I also checked if the time and space complexity are optimized because Google
Hmm.
needs you to write optimized solution. So it won't,
Yeah.
I mean, brute force is not gonna work. So I always checked if
Hmm.
I am doing the optimal question solutions or not.
Hmm.
And another approach that I followed was if a question I could not do the optimized solution on the
Hmm.
first go by myself, I had prepared an Excel sheet where I used to mark question key. This one I was not able to do at first go. This one I could not do it optimized. So 2 weeks later I can check them again. So
Hmm. Hmm.
again, this was not a mug up. It was more like did I understand the concept enough to be able to do it again? And I like to focus on concept here again and again and again because unlike a lot of companies, once a question is leaked, Google does not ask again. So there is no
Okay.
point of mugging up a question. You always need to be clear with the concept because they will pose a new question which you must have not seen anywhere at all.
Okay. So one question is like, what the one thing you must say about the Google hiring process that is very unique among all the companies or all the MNCs or all startups?
So one thing that I found unique was usually because I've checked other companies as well. So first thing, as I
Hmm.
mentioned, companies have a how do I say a question bank. Their question bank
Hmm.
remains consistent. Half of them will even get leaked to the lead code, and which makes
Hmm.
it easier. Yes, Google won't
Hmm.
do it. You will always, I mean, I can tell you, probably I must have done 300 questions that were asked in last 1 year of Google itself, and yet among so
Hmm.
many interviews, nothing ever
Hmm.
got repeated. So this is very unique that you cannot just
Okay.
mug up. You have to be clear with the basics. Then
Hmm.
second thing, they need a very clean and concise code. Like obviously, many companies will ask you for optimized, and you will need to handle all the corner cases. But along with it, the way you code is also very
Important.
important. So if
Hmm.
I tell you the basics that would be needed at a Google interview will be the code should be clean and concise. There
Hmm.
should not be a pseudocode. You need to
Hmm.
properly write it. It should
Hmm.
be optimized, and it's always
Hmm.
good to mention time and space complexity along with it. Like, if you do not, I think that can go against you. It's important if you're able to mention how much time it's going to take, what's the complexity, it always comes up as a good point for yourself in an interview. And yeah, there was another point I'm thinking I missed on it, sorry. Oh yeah, and one more thing. There is no constraint on the language you want to pick on. I have seen many college students are always well versed with C++. If you think that is your strong suit, go ahead with it. C++,
Hmm.
Java, Python, TypeScript, whatever you feel is comfortable to you, go with it. And
Hmm.
the questions won't be run in an IDE. That's for sure. You will
Okay.
be asked to type, but because they won't be run in IDE, that does not mean that it can have bugs or it won't get noticed. The interviews are very well prepared with the question they have to ask, so if there is even a semicolon missing, any bug, if an else condition improper, they will be able to point it out. And it's always good that you pick on the issues and problems before your interviewer does, because that gets noted that you did not pick on this. They noticed it and they let you know that.
Okay. So, what's a vast the Google hiring process? Okay. So, any of the patterns or any of a coding, no, any of a coding questions और कौन से डीएसए patterns और डीएसए questions पे उन्होंने फोकस किया वैसे कुछ है और काइंड ऑफ अ डीएसए उन्होंने ज्यादा फोकस
Um,
किया ग्राफ्स है क्या?
hmm So first, I would like to tell. So usually the
हम्म.
interviews are for 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes, and that
हम्म.
either it will be one lead code hard or
हम्म.
they will aim to have two medium questions. I have given
हम्म.
interviews where there will be one question that will take 20 minutes and then
हम्म.
another follow-up that will take 20 minutes. Or it can
हम्म.
be 20 plus 10 plus 10. Like once I had two follow-ups because they were too small. I do not know if they were
हम्म.
too small or I had coded them, but yeah, if there's time remaining, they'll try to ask you further follow-up questions. So usually for medium, they will have an aim for two. So try to finish the question in under 20 minutes, max to max 25. So you have time
हम्म.
remaining for the next question. Because even if there will be 10 minutes left, they will paste
हम्म.
the question and then you will have a time crunch on that you were not able to solve it. And the topics that were main concentrated in the interviews I gave were majorly they were medium. I do not remember a
हम्म.
hard question, and they were focused on there was a lot of graph, BFS,
हम्म.
DFS, basic graph algorithms, trees, linked list, and a lot of array. Like you will
Okay.
feel majorly people think that they will be asking very advanced concepts and might lose on array, but yeah, they try to combine a lot of array questions, a lot of array concepts together. So I found
हम्म.
arrays and graph and trees the most recurring topics in my interviews.
Oh, okay, okay. So, one tip you want to give to the students or the freshers who are approaching uh, top MNC like Google.
So I think when it comes to freshers, because I remember when
Hmm.
I was one, we do not know
Hmm.
how to give interviews. We have
Hmm.
understood our data structures. I mean, I have so many freshers coming for referral. Man, they have
Hmm.
already done 600, 700 lead code questions, which is excellent. But one
Hmm.
thing, even after getting called for interview, one thing that we lack is how to give interview. So I have always felt there is one simple, very basic thing, being communicative. What I tried the best in my interviews that even if I'm reading the question, I'll always read it and if there's anything missing. So what Google does is 99% will be a complete question, but they will leave. some other stone which you need to ask and clarify with them, or even if it's how to give output. So always ask your clarifying question. That it comes as a very good point that this person confirmed this part or this output
Mhm.
structure. And one thing, do not ask question just for the sake of asking. If
Okay.
it's mentioned and yet you are asking, that's not gonna come as a good point. Then even after, if you're taking time, if you need some time to think of a logic, and obviously we all need a 5 to 7 minutes to think of a solution. Let the
Yeah.
interviewer know I'm gonna take my 5 to 7 minutes, and even if after that time a solution does not come up,
Mhm.
do not stay quiet. Do not keep thinking, ki, no, no, I'll come up with a solution myself. That
Mhm.
never goes well. Let the interviewer know what you are thinking. Always let
Mhm.
them know your approach so that
Okay.
they will give you hints, they will help you come up with. Because
Mhm.
one thing that is very basic that we are not aware of is your solution is important, yes, for sure. But how you come up with the solution, how you arrive at the solution, what were your thinking skills along with it is equally important. So if you're stuck on something, let the interviewer
Mhm.
know, discuss with them, they will give you the hints, and do not try to jump on the optimized solution. A, that will be difficult to do so if it's a new question. B, if it's a, like I said, few companies have questions leaked out and you can get a question that you've
Mhm.
already done. If you jump to an
Mhm.
optimized question, that means your interview know that you have done it somewhere. So question can get changed. So in either cases, always go for brute force. Let the interview know what you're thinking, and then along with them, and then optimize along the process. That they will give you some hints, even if they do not, you can always let them that how I can optimize this, maybe time complexity, maybe space complexity. So it's a
Mhm.
whole process. Be communicative and collaborative with the interview. Even when I'm writing the code, I'm always
Mhm.
verbal about what line I'm writing, what's the purpose of it. It makes two
Mhm.
things very simple. One, I am aware of what I'm coding, and if there's an
Mhm.
issue, I'll be aware of it. And second, my interviewer remains engaged with it. I mean, if I'm just silently coding for next 10
Mhm.
minutes, they will lose track and interest. So I try to keep their attention on what I'm coding, and always do a dry run. Like once you're done with the code, do a dry run yourself, do a dry run with interview. If you find any bugs, do not feel
Mhm.
it's too late, fix
Mhm.
it right now, because if you do not fix it on that time, the interview will let you know once you are done with it, this is the bug and that's going to go in your feedback. And then, as I mentioned, very basic thing, always mention time and space complexity. It's always, I mean,
Mhm.
a plus one that you know the complexity of the solution you gave.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
I think so. This was your strategy during your interviews of Google. Yeah, it is.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Talking and being communicative was one thing that I had kept for sure. I mean, I even did mock interviews with my friends so as to practice with it, because it does not come up naturally.
okay. So let's come to your non-technical skill. So were there
Hmm.
any of a behavior round or situational questions?
Yes. So after you're done with your technical
Mm,
rounds, there will be what
mm,
we call as a googly round. That
mm,
round will be, as I explained before,
mm,
your technical skills are important for sure. But are you
mm,
even a good fit for the company? Are you culturally well versed? Are you a good
mm,
person? So that's what they will be
okay.
trying to find out. In that, the questions can be asked is, for example, they can give you a situation in which you had to
Mm,
handle a conflict in your previous team. They can ask you, or what kind of, actually, no, what kind of projects were asked in the team matching. But yeah, it's more like a behavior around that. They can give you a conflict on how did you resolve it, or
mm,
if, I mean, like if they come up with what are the solutions, what is the process of if you get a requirement from the top people above, how many people you
mm,
communicate with, how do you handle people below you, how do you communicate with people above you. So I would consider this round as the most simple round, but usually I feel many
mm,
people neglect preparing for them. At least that's what I did in my college time, thinking, oh, it's a that's what we used to call it, a simple HR round. It will be easy. They are easy,
mm,
they are straightforward, yes, but it's always good to prepare for. And I'm not saying to prepare or mug up some answers. But my trick to handle these questions was I went through my whole career summary, what great
Hmm.
projects I did, any issues
Hmm.
I handled, any conflicts I resolved, where
Hmm.
did I show my leadership skills, where did I
Hmm.
solve some unique problem. So I tried to curate a lot of stories from my previous, I mean, after 5 years of experience, you tend to
Hmm.
remember also, you tend to forget also. So yeah, I checked my resume, I remembered my projects, I made a lot of stories and that
Hmm.
helped me. Like even 5 to 6 basic stories of your career, and you can
Hmm.
have this as a fresher also, will have help you good to go. And
Oh,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure that as a fresher, the question will be a bit different. They won't ask you what conflict you resolved at your company because you have not worked at.
Oh, amazing, Shreya. So, one question is that what was the most challenging you think that was the most challenging question or part of your interview round?
So, what was the most challenging?
Hmm.
Hmm. I do not think there was anything specifically challenging. I
Hmm.
do remember there was one graph question. I don't remember the question completely, but I was not able to come up with the proper solution in the interview. And I think approximately 30 minutes went and it was just not working out. That is how I got one negative. But
Hmm.
but that is again basic question. It won't happen to everyone if you're clear with the concepts. So other
Hmm.
than that, if you ask me actually, I'll not say interviews are difficult. It's the
Hmm.
pressure that a person gets on themselves when they have to do it. So
Okay.
I would
Okay.
always suggest be comfortable, be relaxed. My go-to used to be 10 minutes before interview, I'll always listen to some calm music, calm me down because I think I used to be a bit caffeinated, stressed on how the
Hmm.
interview will go. You feel like this is it. So I mean, I think behavior, your own behavior is what ticks most people off rather than the questions. If you are well versed with the concepts, I don't see how you
Hmm.
won't be able to do it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, overall, how is the work culture of a Google? Means, if you want to rate out of a five, then what you will rate?
So it's been only a month, so I do not think
Hmm.
I can comment a lot. But till now, I'll say that they try to maintain that work-life balance very properly. At
Hmm.
least in my team, we start early
Hmm.
work, we finish work early. There are proper breaks, and as I don't know if I think there are a lot of videos out there that will show Google wants everyone, not just in the team, outside the team to collaborate. So hence they will
Hmm.
always have a lot of cultural events where you can meet different kinds of people. And I read somewhere like at Google there is a micro kitchen at every floor. The concept for
Oh.
that is not that you remain hydrated and fed all the time. It's more like again a collaborative environment that where you come around, you see different kinds of people and you meet them. They have a lot of programs also where you can try to connect with different kinds of people other than just your technical expertise. So I say it's a very different company. I feel highly blessed and grateful that I'm a part of it.
So let's talk about your college project. So what type of project you made during college? I don't think so. You remember a lot of things of projects and all, but if you can tell something about projects.
I actually do not remember a lot. I remember that there was
Hmm.
back then, there was a project I did of sentimental analysis. And
Hmm.
if I tell you that projects helped me a lot, I did internship at Visa, and because I had
Hmm.
done a project on sentimental analysis, they saw that there's some background for machine learning. They were
Hmm.
able to give me something similar to it. But
Okay.
I can assure you, you should be having projects, yes. But what kind of projects you do, or that depends on your choice. There will be
Hmm.
no company which will come and ask for a fresher. Oh, you have done, unless it's a startup, I do not know. There might be
Hmm.
certain restrictions and they want some different things. But for
Hmm.
basic MNCs, they would love to have you projects, but I can assure you it's not key oh, you have done this ML project, not this one, hence we won't care about you. So do any project that think you want to upskill in and do not care about the companies. And one thing also I'll mention, because I'm getting a
Mhm,
lot of messages from freshers, and I can see is one selling point a lot of freshers are trying is we know 5 to 6 languages, we have done 3 to 4 projects. No one needs that. Have your expertise in at least one language. That's all that is
mhm,
needed. After working for so many years, what you learn is majority of the languages are same. It's the syntactical things that are different,
mhm,
but the basics hold same. So you do not need to waste a lot of time in learning 5 to 6 languages.
mhm.
We don't care about this. Be well versed in one, learn some basic concepts, do some projects, learn things, and yeah, always be upskilling with data structures and algorithms.
Wow, amazing, ma'am, amazing. So, one last question from my side that is कि as the market conditions are so less, जो कंपनी 10 हायर कर रही थी वो आज 5 हायर कर दी. So, what tips you want to give to the fresher or beginner friendly programmers? So they are searching for the good job.
So see, one thing that I can see, you are absolutely right. Market is
Hmm.
much below as it used to be years
Yeah.
ago. But the
Hmm.
best thing I see is that social networking is also on its peak now. If you open
Hmm.
LinkedIn, at least when I do,
Hmm.
I can see there are 5 to 6 posts every day I see for freshers
Yeah.
or even lateral hires that you can come and
Hmm.
join us, even for internships. So use
Hmm.
that networking power. I remember I did not care a lot about LinkedIn. I didn't understand the value of it in my college time, but I
Hmm.
think people nowadays know how to leverage it. Send people connections, keep asking. When I had to try for different companies, how do I say it? Be Beshram. For every, like, even for every single job ID, I used to send 5 to 6 tests asking for people, please provide a referral for this and that, and give me some tips. So don't feel shy away. Many people will ignore you, many people won't care, but among the 10
Hmm.
messages that you send, at least one or two will reply. Keep sending
Yeah.
requests. Find for people who are hiring. Like there is on LinkedIn, there's a filter to find hiring people. Talk to
Hmm.
them. Message recruiters. I used to text recruiter as well. And do not do direct apply. Referrals, I for sure work much better. So keep
Hmm.
applying, keep referring. Like all I can say is just hustle. Job offers are less, yes, and just doing data structure algorithm is not the final thing. You have to socially network, find people, connect with them. So keep sending people, and yeah, the messages that one sends for getting referral,
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
seen many people do not know it. All they send is, oh, can I get a post and can I get a job in your
Hmm.
company? Do you have some opening? Is there a role fit for me? I do not know what role you're looking for. I do not know what your expertise is. Send your resume, send skills, job ID, and let a
Hmm.
person know what you're looking for so they will be
Yeah.
able to help. And I know, again, I said people will ignore. Yes, everyone is not active on LinkedIn, but among the
Hmm.
50 you send, 5 will reply, and that's enough, and that's a good start for you.
Oh, wow. What advice you had given to the whichever looking the video, please listen properly कि भाई क्या advice दिया आपने. Okay, ma'am. So thank you for coming here and sharing your wonderful journey and the best wishes for you for joining Google and
But
your new journey with the Google.
thank you so much. And it was great connecting with you. I was looking forward to it. I had a good, this was a good video. Like, thanks for it.